David Astbury 7 spent most of his time opposed to Jarryd Roughead, who ended with 3 goals but only 1 against Astbury. It was the only goal the defender conceded as he played his role well despite the greasy conditions. Nathan Broad 3 wasn't his best game and might be nervous with former housemate and fellow defender Brandon Ellis omitted for Kane Lambert. Only had 3 disposals after failing to touch the ball at all in the first quarter and had just 7 pressure acts, the second lowest of any Tiger. Won't like the replay of an unconvincing marking attempt in the third quarter where he braced for non-existent contact mid-air and dropped the ball. Josh Caddy 7 came out on top in a fiery battle with Hawks Livewire James Sicily. Kicked 2.2 and took 6 marks, pushing up and down the ground to provide a leading target that was hard to contain. Had an untidy moment when he used his legs to hold Daniel Howe in the headlock behind play in the first half. Jason Castagna 6 looked primed for a big game early on with a lively first quarter where he gathered 8 disposals and chipped in with 2 scoring assists. But while he ended with 7 tackles, the majority of which were inside 50 and 20 pressure acts, his best was in the first term as he didn't touch the ball again, mainly opposed to Ryan Burton. Reece Conca 6 played in the middle and on the wing, which was a bit of a surprise with the return of Lambert at the expense of halfback Ellis. Had a go at Tom Mitchell but couldn't curtail the ball magnet for the time he had him, and while his 17 touches weren't the Tigers' biggest haul, he was second in the team for pressure acts and laid 6 tackles. Trent Cotchin 8 put aside any concern of soreness with a typically tough, in and under, wet weather game. Set the scene with 5 first-quarter tackles, and broke even in an brawling battle with Mitchell at the stoppages. Wasn't flashy with his 26 disposals but brought plenty of pressure and did all the tough stuff that makes him an inspirational leader. Tigers 2 good full match coverage and stats. Shane Edwards 6 started forward against Ben Stratton but had a variety of opponents on his way to 15 touches. A bit of everything, had an explosive highlight in the third when he belted through traffic and drove the ball along to Prestia, who went inside 50 and set up a scoring opportunity. Spent most of his time forward and had some classy moments. Jack Graham 5 despite his ability to tag, didn't spend much time against Mitchell. Struggled to get going after a one-touch first quarter, although he did kick a goal late in the fourth quarter. Had 7 disposals, his lowest since round 10 but did kick in, with 24 pressure acts and 7 tackles. Sean Grigg 7 had 25 touches and took the ball inside 59 times, but it was his pressure that set the Tigers' backup tall guy apart from the Hawks' big pair of Ben McAvoy and John Stegler. Was also clean with the ball and got it moving, which was important given the contested nature of the game. Dylan Grimes 8 just got it done. Sacrificed his own game as usual in a duel with Paul Puopolo where he didn't concede a goal, nor did he give an inch. His spoiling was first-rate with a highlight coming in the third quarter where he marked against Puopolo just after a Hawthorn goal to save another. Hawks quality question. 5 things we learned. Jack Higgins 7 wasn't overawed by his first final in the slightest, and even got to celebrate with a snag late in the third, which he kicked as he was falling to the ground. Other highlights included a full-body smother on a Blake Hardwick kick in the first minute of the second quarter, and when he showed great vision to hit Caddy on the lead in the fourth to set up a goal after roving the ball off Riewoldt hands. Bacher Holy 6 played mainly against young Hawk James Worpel in a relatively even battle. Had 24 disposals, mainly off halfback, but also pushed up the ground to win the ball on the wing and drive it inside 50. Didn't star but played his role. Kane Lambert 8 signaled his return after last playing in round 21 with 2 excellent first-half tackles and helped to curtail the influence of Isaac Smith after quarter time when it looked like the Hawks winger was going to get off the chain. Had 26 disposals, 17 contested, and was impressive moving the ball inside 50. Dustin Martin 9 celebrated his 200th game with a mixed bag of pure dusty brilliance. Had 7 touches in the first quarter but was frustrated by the close checking of Daniel Howe, which sent him deep into attack. went back into the middle for the start of the second and won the first clearance, before kicking a ridiculous goal when he was running full pelt towards the boundary. Won the battle with Howe in the end and finished the game with 29 disposals and 10 clearances. Get out of here, Dusty, you're kidding. Added another 2 to his tally for a career-high bag of 3. On a night where uncontested possessions were hard to find, was the most effective winger when he did get it. Toby Nankervis six-handled himself well when pitted against 2 big rucks on a night where the conditions didn't lend themselves to hype. Took an important mark in defense in the second quarter and had more disposals around the ground than either of the Hawks' big men. Camden McIntosh has kicked his third. Unloaded a huge goal from outside 50 off 2 steps in the third quarter to open up a 22-point lead. Had 8 score involvements and 24 pressure acts to go with his 626 meters gained, which was the most on the field. Alex Rance 7 was loose at times but mainly shared Roughead with Astbury. Wasn't his most prolific game but was good on the rebound. Will be concerned about 2 things as he drives home: a potential eye gouge on Paul Puopolo as the two wrestled on the ground in the second quarter, and how his left ankle feels after he gave it a good tweak late in the third quarter. Alex Rance and Paul Puopolo were involved in an incident in the second quarter. Big forward, and he only touched the ball twice in the first quarter, although he made 1 count when he took a leading mark, played on, and set up a really crumbed goal. Was mainly opposed to James Frawley in a pretty even battle. Will enjoy a week off now after coming off briefly with a knocked calf in the fourth quarter. Daniel Rioli 8 perfect night for the silky, small forward. Kicked 3 goals, brought plenty of trademark forward pressure and won a stack of contested ball in a clean performance. Had a nice battle with Sean Burgoyne where they took turns tackling each other and bounced back up after being barreled by Puopolo early in the fourth quarter. It is built for September. Wow, Daniel Rioli producing some brilliance in September. Was second to Prestia for meters gained on the field, 537 meters, and clean with his disposals despite the on-again, off-again rain. Like Higgins, wasn't freaked out by the prospect of his first final and just got the job done. Nick Vlastuin 7 was impassable and annoying across halfback. Possessions were down on his season average, but his spoiling was impressive as he constantly got a fist to anything the Hawks tried to attack with and was a nuisance to Luke Breust and Connor Nash. Marshaled across halfback and pushed up the ground at times in a solid performance.